Hello everyone and welcome back to Freedom Through Confidence. My name is Ben and in this video today I want to share with you 5 tips on how to stop being a people pleaser. And I want to make this a pretty quick and straightforward video so that you can take these tips and start to apply them straight away in your life. Because if you're on a video like this, then you probably are sick and tired of constantly being a people pleaser and you want to know how to change so that you can kind of live life on your own terms rather than on other people's. So let's jump into what those 5 tips are on how to stop being a people pleaser. Of course, a quick caveat before we begin, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make people happy, but if it is at the expense of you and the things that you want to do and accomplish in life, and if it is eating away at kind of your life on the whole, then yeah, at a certain point that becomes toxic and not good for you in general. So let's jump into what those 5 tips are. Okay, so the first thing is to realize that you always have a choice. Sometimes it might not seem like you do, but believe me, there is always a choice to be made. Let's say that you have a weekend planned and you're going to just do the things that really matter to you. It doesn't matter what that is. Maybe you just wanted to spend the weekend decorating your flat and you're really looking forward to it, and you wake up on Saturday morning and you've got a missed call from your boss and the voicemail is saying, listen, such and such person is sick, we need you to come into work. Now obviously you already had this weekend plan, you're really looking forward to it, it's something that you really wanted to do, it's something that will probably be pretty good for your mental health, and you know that there are other people who can go in and cover that shift, but your boss is asking you because they know that you always say yes. Despite what you may feel, you have always got the choice to say in that situation, no. You don't even have to give a reason. You can just say, no, I can't make it in today. And I know what will probably be running through your head will be something like, oh, but if I say no to this, my boss isn't going to like me. I might be losing future opportunities for this and for that. And there's all sorts of scenarios that are going through your mind. But the one thing that typically doesn't is the fact that it's important that you take time for yourself. We kind of oftentimes negate that as a choice, but we always have the choice to choose ourselves in that situation. No, it's not selfish. That is oftentimes just what people will say in order to get you to do what they want you to do instead. So realize that you always have a choice. Okay, so the second way to stop being a people pleaser is to set appropriate boundaries with your family, with your friends, with your work colleagues, with your boss. It is so important to have good, strong boundaries. Now, what those boundaries are is completely up to you. For example, most of my friends know that I'm not a super touchy-feely, huggy kind of guy, no matter, how much other people might want me to be, no matter how much I might want myself to be sometimes. It's just not something that I particularly enjoy. So my friends know that I have that kind of boundary. When they see me, it'll usually be like a quick hug, or like one of those man hugs where it's like, you clasp hands like that, you come and you press your shoulders against each other, like that kind of thing, and that's it. Like that is typically my boundaries with the vast majority of my friends. Some of my friends I'm a little bit more close to, and I let some stuff kind of slide with them. I've got different kind of boundaries, but for the most part, most people know that is my boundary. And if somebody crosses that boundary, I'm always quick to tell them, listen, please don't do that. I'm not that guy. And of course, this is a very specific example to me, but there are of course things in your life that that you don't like, or that you prefer if things are done a certain way, and it is important that you set those boundaries with other people. Now, this isn't to say that they will always respect your boundaries, but that is when assertiveness comes into play. Knowing what you want and always being firm with what those boundaries are. The third thing is to know your worth. And again, this is a very vague statement because, well, it's a subject header. Of course it's going to be vague, but I'm talking about understanding your own needs, your own desires. Like if you've got the choice between having a relaxing weekend that you know that you need to kind of decompress from life and your boss wants you to come in and do a double weekend after having already worked the full week, like, know you're worth enough to say no. Like, I need this time for me. Like, otherwise I'm going to fall apart and I'm going to be basically useless to everyone, including myself. So no, I know my worth. Now, probably you will want to rephrase this depending on your manager, depending on your boss, but know your own worth enough to make decisions and maintain strong boundaries for yourself. The fourth thing I've already kind of alluded to in that last point, which is to know what you want, know what you don't want, what you like, what you don't like, because that is what is going to allow you to set boundaries. You can't set boundaries if you don't actually know yourself. So take the time to understand yourself better, to figure out what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like, what your values are, what your goals are, and basically what is important to you. Because knowing what's important to you, as I said, is going to allow you to create strong boundaries. It's going to allow you to know what your worth is, and it is going to help to kind of highlight the fact that you have a choice between always living for others, or sometimes, or maybe even most of the time, doing things for you. And the fifth and final tip that I have for you in order to stop being a people pleaser is to start practicing saying no. Now, I know that saying no to people is difficult if you haven't really done it before. And so what I always recommend is starting small. Maybe you feel anxious or uncomfortable, just saying no to your boss straight off the bat. Maybe instead you just start with if you're walking down the street and there's like a street salesman there and they're trying to, give you a leaflet or something like that. Like, that's a situation where you can very easily just practice saying no thank you and moving on pretty quickly. And if they keep coming after, just no thank you, not today, no thank you. That's a pretty easy way to practice. And that's what I mean by starting small and building your way up. An exercise I read about in a book called Not Nice by Dr. Aziz Gazipura is literally just having like a set amount of time during a day, just as a practice session, where you literally just say no to everything. You don't give a reason why, just say no. Someone's like, oh, do you want to go for your break right now? Just, no. Do you want to, go and grab a coffee? No. You're at your work's canteen and the barista's like, oh, do you want sugar with your tea today? And you're like, well, no. Like, there's just practicing saying no so that it's not some kind of curse word. It's not something that's going to kill you if you say it, and build up from there until you can be more assertive with people who maybe do have a little bit more power, a little bit more authority. Because there's nothing wrong with saying no, there's nothing wrong with knowing your worth, setting good boundaries, and living for you. Being nice to people, being helpful is a good thing, but if you're doing it at the constant expense of yourself and your mental and emotional health, then no, that's no longer a good thing. So that's all I've got for this video today. I hope you have found it useful. Let me know what your thoughts and questions are in the comment section down below. I wish that I could have packed more tips into this. There's like hundreds of tips I can put into a video like this on how to stop being a people pleaser. I had to narrow it down to about 5 of the ones that I kind of think are the most important. But if you've got any thoughts and questions, leave them in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel. I've got a video coming out every single day on confidence and life advice for the average Joe. So if that's what you want, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and thank you very much for watching it all the way to the end today. I look forward to seeing you in future videos here very soon.